If you're getting any kind of stretchy, pulley, pinchy shoulders in the bottom of your chin up, I've got some exercises to help clean that up for you. Hey everyone, Tom Swales here, Advanced Movement Therapist. Today's exercise here is we're going to help clean up that chin up, especially in the bottom position, because oftentimes when we get into that bottom position, if there are some fascial restrictions or some of the muscles just aren't holding that shoulder into place, it can cause the grip to slip, or we might start to disconnect that shoulder and cause some issues. So the solution today is more for patterning, okay? If you have restrictions in the thoracic spine with its general mobility, or you've got trigger points or tight tissues, you need to take care of those first. So the first exercise we're going to do today is we're going to use a dowel. We're going to really lock in our grip here. So we're going to put the forearms in that chin up position that we're going to hang from. And when I sit back into this, I'm concentrating on, don't let my back arch, because I don't want to mobilize the thoracic spine or the lumbar spine with this, but I want to keep that core on. And we're just isolating the grip and that overhead shoulder position. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to grip this dowel, and I may hit some resistance here. And as I feel that resistance in my lats and teres major and serratus, I'm going to push my elbows into the bench. So I'm doing this isometric contraction here. I'm keeping my ribs locked down, and then when I relax, I've got a little bit more range to play with. So it's not just a passive stretch. I am creating strength through isometric control in this position that my shoulders they might not feel super comfortable with. So we're just gonna clean up some of those positions of the isolated joints before we start to integrate the pattern. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna reset, and then I can sit back. And you can see this repetition got a little bit better for me, okay? So again, focus on, don't let that back arch, keep the core on, grip the dowel, don't let this spin out. And then here we can play with a little bit of extension so that we're almost getting into that overhead hang position. Once we cleaned up some local issues in the lats or in the shoulders, then we're gonna keep that dowel, we're gonna keep our grip, we're gonna hold that hollow position, and we're just gonna do some dowel lifts. So in this supinated dowel lift, I'm locking out the elbows, I am keeping the elbows into full supination, but it's still a little sticky at the top here. So I can hold, I can grip onto that dowel. I'm trying to rip it in half in the opposite direction, and then relax and see. So we can use some end range isometrics in these positions that feel a little sticky, and then we can unlock that, and then we can keep coming up. So we can perform some higher reps here, but emphasize that feeling in that tight range and try and bend that dowel so that we can open up the elbow, the wrist, and the shoulder. Next, we're going to tie in our body position in the hollow for our chin-ups. So I'm keeping my dowel. I'm going to let it go overhead because my shoulders move nicely now, but I want to focus on keeping this dished out position with a flat back. So we're connecting everything on the front side here as we hold that bottom range of the chin-up. We're going to stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Might get a little shaky, that's okay. If you can't hold the back flat, you can either jackknife or you can shorten that up into a shorter lever. The last exercise we're going to do before we get to our chin-ups is we're going to do a serratus activation with an overhead. And we're going to use a band to help lock in some of those external rotators to hold the shoulders better in that position to allow the lats to work like they're supposed to. So we're just going to take a long band. We're going to wrap it around. So the ends are coming out on the thumb side, and then I'm going to wrap underneath so that now I have to supinate the elbows here and hold that external rotation. To pair that up with the serratus, we're going to lock in that protraction. I'm going to lock in that supination at the elbows and the external rotation, and I'm going to hold that hollow position, press up overhead. This is an extremely hard exercise. Okay, so you don't want a ton of tension on the band, especially if it starts to collapse you at the top here. So we just want enough that we can control, hold that position, maintain the hollow, and feel that shoulder, especially that backside of the shoulder, work extremely hard so that we can pair that up with those big internal rotators for the chin up. And then we're going to come back, you're going to test your chin up, see how that feels at the bottom position, give it a little dead hang. Can you keep that engaged? Can you lock out the elbows? Can you keep your pinkies on? Hollow position. And then see how that feels and how you move. I hope you found all those exercises helpful for improving your chin up and hopefully correcting a lot of issues so they don't become a bigger problem down the road. If you're a clinician and this makes sense to you on how everything's structured and organized to develop healthy, strong shoulders, head over to amtcertified.com. If you're an athlete and like this content, just subscribe to the YouTube channel and I'd be happy to help you out.